Let's take a quick second and talk about simple play action passing game for Little League football. The odds are that you're probably not going to open it up 5 wide and spread the field and run them straight down the field. You're probably not Mike Leach or even at the NFL level of passing. But it's important to have a passing game that your opponent must respect. And one of the best ways to do that is to develop and predicate your passing game on play action. Essentially that you're building off of what other people or other people's tendency to have to stop your run and the things that they're going to have to overcommit for that. The first play that I'd like to talk about is that of the pop. The pop is a simple play, and I've chosen to show all these plays from a double wing formation here because I think that's probably one of the most pass challenged formations that we have. But the pop is a very simple play that has a great deal of ability to get great mileage. The pop is a play that's ran off of your base run motion. Your base run motion is dependent upon the formation. It might be a lead, it might be a blast, it might be a dive. In the double wing, let's say that our base motion is the dive. So we would go ahead at that point and fake a dive here. The running back would go ahead and just carry that fake out and be tackled, hopefully avoiding bringing pressure to the quarterback. At that point, we're going to go ahead and instruct our tight end, and often it's the play side guy, to find the open seam here. Now, most of the time, if you've got a cornerback somewhere out here and you've got a safety somewhere out here, you're going to want to run up that seam away from the safety and away from the cornerback and come up between those. So that's the route that you're most likely to take. One skill that's particularly effective is to run the pop away from the motion. What tends to happen is we get people flying in, for example, from this direction, we get a safety coming in from this direction, we get a corner coming in, and we get a cornerback on this backside taking a shallow pursuit path here. Now if we can bring this guy up once again straight up that seam, he maybe even fades a little bit towards this area of the field, then he's able to catch the ball there. So pop's a very effective play that can be ran to either side, and something that definitely you want to have in your Little League play action passing arsenal. Let's look next at boot. Now boot once again is a super simple play. We go ahead and predicate boot off of our base play, so we'll go ahead and go with dive. Now boot is great because it gets our kid in motion. I'm a big fan of anytime we can, we want to get our quarterbacks running in motion. The reality of it is we don't have many pure drop back passers at our level. Often it's just our best athlete, and they tend to throw a little bit more when they're out here in the pocket in the clear rather than out here off the pocket and in the clear rather than when they're sitting deep in the pocket. There's just a lot going on in front of them when the pocket's in front of them, so something to think of there. Let's go ahead and talk boot though. We'll go ahead and fake dive this way. We'll go ahead and turn fake, make sure that we hide the fake well, really be good with those ball tricks there, and keep it hidden and just come over here. Now what we're essentially hoping is that this defensive end crashes down on that fake, although make sure you tell your quarterback to fade deep as he comes on his boot, and so he's able to get over top of this guy. Now the route structure that we would look for on this play, out of this we would typically run, and I would actually tell this guy to kind of pin defensive end in there for a second, run to about 8, and then run a corner. This guy's just going to give me a quick 5-yard speed out, just bend it out here. Whoops, sorry, that's a little bit of a funky route. He's going to run a quick 5-yard speed out, okay, getting us across there. This backside route we're going to have, and this is often the best route on this combo, this guy's going to go ahead and take what we call a drag route. He's going to kind of cut these two routes in half, and he's going to come right there and end up on the other sideline at about 12. Now I know I haven't done a real great job of showing that there, but somewhere in that area. If another team really has these covered, that route's a great route. Another route that really works well is this backside post, and this is kind of your home run ball. But what you're going to see is as soon as you start completing this and this and this, your cornerback here is going to start to trail this play. Okay? The safety is going to come, the safety from right about here. Safety from right about here is going to come and flow that way. Now, leaving this backside post area just wide open. It's a killer route on this play. So that is the basic. Once again, looks something like this if we take all the defensive guys out of here. And the important thing to communicate with your athletes is this guy just needs to run this route deep enough to get where you need to go. Now, if you don't have any particular, like if it's not 3rd down and 4, then this guy can run it at 5 every time. But extra points, this is a golden play. You start from the 3-yard line, for example. This guy needs to run that route to 4 yards just to make sure that he gets past. Give him 1 more yard past the point of desired returns, and you'll usually get the desired returns. All right. Let's now talk about waggle. Waggle is a great play. It's a very valuable play, and it's a good play because it builds off your counter. Waggle is typically play action off of your counter play. So I'm going to, for the sake of our illustration, I'm going to move us back into a wishbone set, which is another one of the sets that is commonly seen in running football in the league. Okay. And let's go ahead and waggle right. So we're going to go ahead and fake all of our basics. We're going to fake the handoff to the right. So originally, if we're running waggle, we would get the motion of this guy coming, or if we were running counter, this guy would come through and lead block. Now he's going to go ahead and lead out. He's going to come here off the edge, and he's going to run an arrow or a shoot route, which gets him to about 3 at the sideline there. Just nice and shallow. It may take him a little bit of time to get out here, but hopefully the backfield motion, slows things down enough that he's able to get out there. We're going to go ahead, and if this guy's at a tight end, we'll go ahead and run him as on a corner route towards the corner of the end zone, depending upon what you're able to do and how advanced the arm of your quarterback is, of course. This guy needs to be sure that when he comes out to block here, he just makes sure he gets, or he doesn't come out to block, but when he gets the fake, that he runs hard and that the play side defensive end attacks him. This backside receiver is going to run, once again, that drag route, end up deep at about, depending upon your age group, I'd say at least 10, but as they get older, maybe 12 yards. He's just really looking for that middle hole between those 2 routes. And the last skill guy that we have that has a really big part in this is this guy taking the backside fake and running that out. Now quarterback's motion obviously is going to turn out fake here, fake the counter, and then roll out to the flat here. Once again, it's a great play. It gives us a run pass option. It gives us the choice if our athlete's out in space and he sees green, allows him to attack it, and that's really kind of a basic tenet of Little League football. Get that athlete on the edge and let him go make a play. Let's go ahead and continue to look into the next one. We'll look at flood, and all I'm going to say about flood is more of a concept and an idea than a specific route set. You can run any set of routes to really get this desired effect. Let's go ahead and look at some of those routes and some of those things we can do. Let's go ahead and delete these guys. We're going to go ahead for our sake here. And this is less of a play action and more of just a base idea, but you could also run it out of play action, and I'll show that this time. Let's switch back to the double wing. Gives us a little bit more of an edge threat. In this double wing, the idea of flood is basically that we're going to attack, there's Eli. We're going to attack 3 separate zones. 1 deep. We're going to attack another intermediate and on the side, and then we're going to attack the play side flat as well. Beautiful thing about flood is it gives us all of our reads kind of in a nice little line and in a good order, and helps make it easier to understand kind of where we're at and what we're looking for. And you can get this desired effect really through any means, but this is kind of your basic flood that I'll go ahead and show you here. Basic flood, you would run this guy out at a 3-yard shoot. Whoops, sorry. That line got a little funky for me. run him out at a 3-yard shoot or an arrow. Okay. I know that's at 2, but that'll have to do for now. You can also run this guy out to a corner, which he'll hit that deep zone, and then you can run this guy to backside drag, which he'll hit that intermediate area. Now, spacing becomes important on flood. You want to make sure that this guy's shallow, this guy's intermediate, but we want to have space between them where we don't want to make it so they can guard 2 guys with 1 man. And if I had this play in my book, I would also just do the courtesy of doing this. Flood's a great play to roll your quarterback out to. This would be kind of roll him out here, possibly have this guy come and pin the defensive end. It's a good solid play. Now, you'd have to kind of make sure that you could get the timing away from this backside defensive end because he is unblocked there with those 2 out there. But depending upon how many down linemen this tackle may be able to take him. Now, you can do a lot of interesting things with flood. You don't necessarily have to feel like you're tied to just running it this way. Maybe you're worried about backside protection, so we're going to do that with all play side routes and a running back. It would look maybe something like this. Maybe we'd switch the post here to the tight end. Maybe we would have this guy run a deep out, and maybe we would have this guy run a quick shoot route out of the backfield. Once again, gives us our 3 zones. We're able to attack it there, and that's kind of a nice, easy thing. Another option that we could do is to go ahead and, well, actually, that's more of a trips play, so we'll not talk about that now, but we'll go on to the next one. The last item that we wanted to talk about was the idea of using slants. Now, slants are more applicable out of spread formations. You're not going to be able to obviously slant this tight end into the middle here. There's too much defensive muck. But if we were spread a little bit out and still in our double wing formation, what we're looking for out of slants is just a quick inside move. A lot of cornerbacks will make the mistake of aligning outside here or head up. Anytime we're outside or head up aligned, we've got this nice little passing lane that should allow our guy to run right through here, catch a nice pass, and depending upon how quick he is or whatnot, he may be able to go to the zone. So slant for me is a go now route. I'm not going to worry about stemming it up. I'm just going to boom, hit that inside foot and go. It's a great simple route. Like I said, if the cornerback's out here or out here, look to it to make big plays. So that's kind of the simple overview of play action / little league passing plays that I would have in my repertoire. There are some other things that you can do, and we could talk about those another time, but I think at the base, those are the things that I would be looking for if I were building my own little league offense. Thanks for your time.